God, the birds are loud today. So today I'm trying to complete something that I started a couple months ago, and that was I tore my kitchen cabinets off without really having a plan. I just didn't want to see these old cabinet doors anymore. And then I was having problems with painting the cabinets because usually I've painted so much with chalk paint, and that's what I wanted to use to paint my new cabinets. But the chalk paint on raw wood needs primer, and most of the websites I was looking at said, oh no, you don't need any primer with chalk paint. Yes, you do. You do when you're working on raw wood. So all the chalk paint was being absorbed into the raw wood without primer in a very uneven fashion, and I don't think I ever share with you where I got my inspiration to include these little pie hole vents in the front of my pantry cabinets. But I remember that this cabinet right here is vintage and original to the house. And when I was cleaning out all my stuff inside the top of pantry, I realized, oh, that's subliminally where I got the idea, because they had used shelving, and in the shelving of the original pantry were pie hole vents. I'm calling them pie hole vents because who doesn't love pie? But there's something about it. There's a vintage feel to it, and you know how I love my vintage. And also, to be frank, to keep it on budget, because molding is expensive, hardware is expensive. So this way, I have something that's uniquely my own. Yeah. I don't know if you're like me, but I watch DIYers online, these great influencers that are so adept at woodwork, like they're just single-handedly renovating a kitchen from the studs. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'll never be there. So if you're like me, where you're still getting used to power tools, I just bought a circular saw, so that's going to be new for me. But even my idea of creating circular vents into my pantry doors was intimidating. But so if you're like me, stick with me, I'll walk you through it. I'm going to create the holes with something called a hole saw. And hole saws, just like with drill bits, come in different sizes. The one that I have here is a 1/2 inch hole. So let's give it a try. And on our first cabinet, I'm excited and scared. I created a simple template. I'm going to put holes in the top cabinet doors only. After watching a lot of videos on how to cut in the cleanest hole into wood, they all suggest first starting at the front face of your cabinet and drilling so that you have a hole poking through the back. And then they suggest finishing up the holes from the back. That way you're going to get the cleanest kind of cut onto the front face of your cabinet. So I'm going to give that a try. And then after that, I'm going to have to sand all of the cabinet doors one more time because the chalk paint made the wood grain rise. So I have to sand that back down and prime it properly, and then we're going to use the chalk paint that I originally wanted to use. I got this work table as an early birthday gift. Isn't that nice? And who needs diamonds, right? Okay, so now I need to trim off, just the tiniest bit on the bottom of this cabinet door in order to fit. I realize the frame is really not that square, and either are my cabinet doors. So in order to shave off here and there the smallest amount at a time, the planer has helped me do that. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It is time to hang these cabinets. I bought these antique finished bronze hinges from rockler.com, and I just used my awl to punch in a pilot hole for my screw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screw in, but not tighten up yet, in case there's any adjustments that need to be made, and there usually are. But I really love the quality of these hinges. This might happen to you. Everything was great. There's a little bit of stickiness here at the corner. So all I'm going to do is take my my handy mini sander and just take a little bit off. Really liked these knobs, these rattan knobs. It's very beachy. I like the idea of them being wood, but the problem is, if you can see inside the threads. So as soon as I started to put these onto the screw dowel inside just came out, and that happened on 3 of them. So I'm going to return these knobs. I'm going to go to plan B, and I didn't want to spend that much on knobs, but I'd rather have them work than them falling apart. Okay, to recap, number 1, I am loving the pie vents in my cabinet doors. They are charming and unique and just what I wanted. Number 2, I will be repainting all my cabinet doors. The chalk paint was a fail. Number 3, I'll be replacing all of the knobs. For all of the updates and the final reveal, can't wait to show you that when that happens. Thanks for joining me at Nutshell Living. Bye!